I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. That's right. Thanks for tuning in. If you're here, that's really awesome. Thanks for tuning in. Concerning situation is going on in British Columbia right now. We do have fresh severe thunderstorm watches now in effect in 3 areas of BC. So that's certainly what we're here to talk about first, and then we'll spend some more time looking at the radar and just seeing where they are this evening and what they're doing. If you're never tuned in to my channel before, I'm here in British Columbia, central British Columbia, Wells, up in the Cariboo Mountains, and I am here as a weather nerd, doing my best as a hobby for many years now, trying to spread the word on all things weather related when it comes to the interior British Columbia. See, I figured it. I found living in BC that there is scant reporting sometimes on the interior when it comes to uh, some of your main places that you look for weather news. So I wanted to be a source beyond that where people could who live in Kelowna or well even Kelowna they're quick to get reported on by Weather Network or someone like that, right? So what I'm trying to do is get you guys in Quesnel and you people who live in 100 Mile House and Fort St. John and Prince George and Vernon and all these little places in the interior of BC, anywhere non-coastal. There's always lots of reporting on what's going on in the ocean, so and what's going on out there. So yes, without much further ado, I always kind of start off my streams here by trying to share to some different places that are. So my Twitter is another one that I like to get it onto right away because get some followers and some watchers. If you could help me by letting someone know about my channel or my streams, or leave a thumbs up because that helps the algorithms. YouTube loves people who get lots of shares and likes and subscriptions, and I'm very open to donations as well. Intense lightning this evening on my Twitter. Here, why don't I hit the share screen now and start with that already. This is my Twitter page, and you can find that interior with one severe thunderstorm watches issued in BC. Intense lightning this evening. BC storm, BC wildfire, British Columbia. I'm trying to eat my supper tonight, but there's weather news, and it's important news, especially if you live in certain parts of the lower central interior who just got the severe thunderstorm watch. BC storm, British Columbia, severe weather, WX, WX Twitter. There's no WX Twitter today. Okay, good enough. Let's just get to the gory details and ignore all of that. Welcome to my channel. If you feel like leaving any kind of a comment here, great. Okay, now let's get to it. Lightning at this hour. We'll refresh this and see where we're at. So here's the storms we're looking at. Now this is south of Ashcroft, Cache Creek, north of yes, in the Lytton area. We got this guy sitting in the hills south of Kamloops in the highlands. It's throwing off a lot of lightning. We've had this sort of unexpected band turn up along that Highway 20 corridor that goes out to Bellacoola. We got this guy down here, sort of in the Princeton areas. And then we got some guys in Boundary Country that are popping off too. And then all day there's been quite a bit of lightning near Vancouver Island. And it used to be that when we'd see lightning activity uh, near Vancouver Island, we'd say, "Oh wow!" Or in Vancouver, BC, it's how weird. There's been lightning in Vancouver. That never happens, and it's just that always happens now. It's for the last number of years. It's been totally not unusual. So heat warnings continue for Central Coast, Fraser Canyon, North Coast, North Thompson. That goes on for probably a couple more days. Here's our severe thunderstorm watches. Environment Canada doesn't give us much details anymore, and I hate that. Fraser Canyon North, including Willowitt, Fraser Canyon South, including Lytton. Conditions are favorable for the development of severe thunderstorms that may be capable of producing strong wind gusts, large hail, and heavy rains this evening. Large hail can damage property and hit you in the eyeballs, and strong wind can fuck shit up too. Look out. Okay, so Nicola, separate one. Same thing, doesn't say pretty much anything. It's great, great forecasting. And South Thompson, yeah, conditions are favorable. So that's why you need to watch Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers on Facebook, my group I run with 15,200 members. And that's why you got to join in right here and watch some of my in-depth analysis. Odessa, hey, I'm on Vancouver Island. Well, yes, you've probably been seeing some lightning today. So just going to arrange this around here briefly and get to some details. Do you want to see more of me? Probably don't care. I don't really care. Radar and satellite, radar. Let's look at these storms we got going on. So again, we are having a sad situation always with that radar in Prince George being down. I don't know what century they plan to have radar again. So that's unfortunate. But here's the storms that we're watching. At least they are down in some southern parts of BC where we can look quite closely at what's going on. So here's where currently this set of storms south of Kamloops is. We got some pretty strong. There's that road that goes Stump Lake 5A. So right around Stump Lake, we're probably seeing some lightning there. And I'm sure with the Blitzer tongue lightning detector, it's not, as I was saying in my last stream, the lightning detector that we have here is not as sensitive as maybe what you'll see on your Weather Network app or perhaps some other apps. Blitzer tongue has a network of lightning detectors. It'd be awesome if any of you nerds out there want to set up a lightning detector in BC for Blitzer tongue and get us. Right now, we seem to be down on lightning detectors for the project. So we do sometimes get the strongest strikes. I have to eat something. We sometimes get the strongest strikes still turn up. And here we go. Where's this guy? He just hit. Right along Highway 12 on the Fraser River. Right down in the river. Where's that bolt hit? On the north side of the river. So down below the road. May have hit the river itself or a rock or something sticking out. Here's two more up in some really high country. That one's down in the valley. This is on a ridge crest. Let's see if we can figure out where this is. Near Texas Creek, Skimath Creek, two lightning strikes. Some red in there, so maybe there's some rain. Maybe they're getting some precipitation. Here's another guy worth looking at. We have somebody who's reporting from Vancouver Island, just watching. So hello, Odessa. And here's where some of your action is right now. Just west of Parksville, we got one cell. And these guys look like they want to bubble up a little bit out by Nanaimo. Some cells down by Vancouver. Now, if you're looking at my stream yesterday, what I expect to see in the next couple hours is some strong developments coming into here. So this energy is going to come into these lower mainland coast mountains, and I expect where it looked like yesterday when we were watching on the stream here some projections and predictions was that Harrison Lake might see a lot of lightning overnight tonight. So that's something that we want to be watching for anybody who's living down there. And certainly, if you have any fire news at all, please shout out or mention it here. We got some pretty strong storms. We can look at them in a minute down in Washington State. But, these are the guys, of course, that we're worried about right near Grand Forks. You got this cell up in the hills and then one sort of trailing in behind. So that's due east of Midway. You see how the highway snakes around here from Greenwood. And there's this whole complex of there's a ski hill somewhere in here, a small time one community ski hill. Tourists walking by my house. This little guy south of here, that's an interesting little cell. It's got some shape to it, and it'll be interesting to see if some sort of a tail develops at all. If it finds itself rotating at all. Still at this hour of night. Chance of tornadoes and stuff. Like, come on, no, not really. But weird wind event, 3 new ones. Oh, I hate when I keep doing that. Let's have a look where these guys are. So we know where this highway is, 97C, right down by the highway. Well, I guess it's good in some ways if fire starts happening on the highway. Now we have, because at least that's easy to action. Whereas this guy off the highway, he's happening where there's absolutely no rain. Just off of Courtney Lake. And that little watershed up there that flows east. So here's the mountaintop right there. So down the valley. It's kind of a nice plateau, and then it gets real steep quickly down there. So it might not be. Yeah, I don't know. So that's that lightning strike happening. So is this one right here. It's a reacher on some unnamed hill side. That's probably thickly forested. Just want to have a look here quickly. See what this map does. Fire intensity. So it's definitely got some fires that are happening in BC on here. So that's an interesting map. Fire intensity. Never looked at that before. There you go. You just never know what's here on. This is a good one to look at. Drought intensity, because this is one that will predict fire behavior. How dry is the soil? So we have areas that are very dry. Kelowna, Vernon, near Grand Forks, where that lightning's happening right now in those hills. So that's the kind of thing we want to pay attention to. Definitely any storm that's happening right now in this area where it's been very dry, and in this area tonight. One of the things I was saying earlier too is that during these sort of hot spells, thunderstorms at night, uh, what they're likely to do is have little spot fires, and then these little spot fires, well, what do? They sort of simmer there and cook, but when the sun comes up in the morning, they have all day to sort of get going. So here's thunderstorm activity tonight. Gotta wait for it to catch up. It's gonna do anything. Internet's being slow. I hope it's not lagging. Well, I'm looking at Wednesday, 2 a.m. That's weird. Okay. Okay. So we see strong thunderstorm possibility. Still, this is 9 p.m. That's about an hour from now almost. Strong thunderstorm going on all in these north or the coast mountains, south coast mountains, north of Vancouver. You're gonna have some strong storm activity. At least there's some rain all through here that's expected. So that's somewhat comforting. So that's gonna start going. That's gonna be an all-night lightning show, is what we're seeing too, right? Like this isn't gonna to your 10 o'clock. It may move off from your area, but what we see by 4 a.m., 5 a.m. is there's quite a bit of energy there. We'll go back to current maps in a second. Here, now finally it's moving into the Caribou in the morning. We already went over this in my stream earlier. We see these guys down by Kelowna. Not a lot of rain expected. More lightning down there on Thursday. We just saw how dry it is on that last map. Concerning. And we have strong thunderstorm potential in the greater Prince George reaches tomorrow. So back to radar and satellite because we want to know what's going on. Here's two new lightning strikes that happened in the last couple minutes. They're outside. Once again, they're outside current rain. And the way this is likely going to move, this is all kind of moving, trending out this way. So these are bolts of lightning that are happening in behind the storm. If it doesn't rain much in the small time that weather passed through there, now we got dry lightning strikes on potentially dry ground, right? So that's two more south of Nicola and south of Kilchina, sort of off the Mount Nicola. This one little storm has become pretty neat in behind. It's probably the one that's one of the ones that's got them concerned about severe circumstances, isolated, has that ability to grow taller. So we got a bunch of lightning now happening in this cell, and this is one that's kicking up. This is another one that's a severe watch, and yeah, it's hitting hard in some of these mountains. Let's have a look where they are. That was a fresh lightning strike. That wave I just saw. That was the you just saw. That was the another one close by. That's the sound wave. So how long does it take sound to travel? So now, if you're on Highway 99, standing there, there's a lookout here that looks towards this mountain. That's quite nice somewhere. So you're standing now. You're starting to hear the first thunder. Now you're going to start hearing the second thunder. So that's about how long it takes for the. But yeah, we got quite a bit of lightning activity up in those hills, and we had two strikes here that really are outside. There's Shalath's just back here. I was talking to my friend Justin Oleman, who I fought fires with before. He lives in Shalath. And I'm talking to his sister Tara today. And I was talking about how your weather's pretty stable there. You don't get a whole lot of action. And well, they do like it, but she's in the fire department and they don't want too much excitement. Well, here's one. This is that series of hills. If you've driven uh, this pass is called, oh, it'll come to me in a second. I even wrote a song about it once. Seton Lake Highline Pass. So when you're on the pass, there's Carpenter Lake on this side, and there's a series of high peaks that ridge off. And and this is one thing I did love about climbing in the Cayush and South Chilcotin is you walk this ridge crest. Now I never walked this one in particular, but if you did, it's just like peak, peak, and they're all short hikes, and each one of them's a new wonder. So I've definitely done that exact same thing. Oops, I thought I had my drawings turned off. I've done that exact same thing. Uh, let's zoom out here. On Highway 99, all along Duffy Lake, I've hiked all this. So my friend Hubie's camp is down here. And there's lightning right there near Melvin Creek. This up in this high valley. In fact, that is Melvin. I've slept at that lake. Right there. Had a little bit of an ice patch sitting there still back in that day. That was maybe 15 years ago. There's Melvin Lake right there. So lightning strikes up at Melvin. Nancy Green Rain wanted to put a ski resort there, and Hubie put a cabin there instead and said, I'm Schlatlium, and this is my land, and you can't have it. And they never ended up being able to build a ski resort there. And we love Hubie. He's been there 22 years plus. He's what a real warrior and a real, yeah, he's the real deal. We'll just refresh this one here quickly. I got to move my face so I can use my. So unfortunately, we don't have any radar really on these guys. That's a bummer. But we've been watching this. That's lighting up like crazy right now. Here's that isolated cell behind that looks like it might be able to get quite strong. Here's so and so down by Grand Forks. This one's now getting close to Kamloops. You might be able to see that soon tonight, Kamloops. Let your Kamloops friends know. If you got people who live in wildfire country there. Hey, Joey, we're in Falkland. Will there be any rain for us? So, yeah, I'm just talking about you basically right now in Falkland. You're getting thunderstorm activity there, but the rain is not really there. I mean, let's go back to the map and see where it is. Like you may have a bit. Ooh, here's some more. Lots of lightning strikes. Again, right up on that series of real Joseph. Right on that series of real high mountains that you can see from 99 and you can see from 12. Zap, zap, zap. 3 more. So, I mean, look at holy, that was quite the discharge. Anybody in the Lytton area, keep your eye out right now for fire starts up there. Do tell your friends. That was quite the discharge. In fact, Lillooet's going to maybe be able to hear it rumbling a little bit off the mountains now. So definitely that's the cell that's firing the most. We have a little bit of moisture in the air out and around. But this one cell in the back, that's the one that's really firing the lightning. And there's these guys up by Hansville, so that's southwest of Alexis Creek. That's along the Highway 20 there. We don't have any radar feed for this storm because of Environment Canada. I just don't understand why they couldn't have one radar go down and the other one go right back up. I guess they figure they want it's more important to have advanced radar for, I mean, statistically speaking, for freezing rain season and things like that. Here's one again that just so that's across the lake from you, Tara, if you happen to be watching. So there's Native Community Shaloths down here, and so we got here. There's Seton, and then here's Anderson Lake, and then the communities are here, so you'll be able to see that quite clearly. If anyone who I fought fire with living down there in Shaloth is watching, please keep your eyes out on those peaks right there up top, Mount Seton and Goat Mountain. There's that ridge line that follows it down. That's where a lightning strike is. That's where there's no rain. So down in Falkland, we haven't got much down by Logan Lake here. Haven't got much rain going on anywhere. Just a little, possible. They're starting to see now the outer edge, some cloud cover, maybe the top of the. Well, if we go to satellite, just have a look. I can turn the infrared off in a minute. Here's everything that's angry right now. This is infrared. So it's not just looking at the clouds, you can see right through them and see the moisture. And because we don't have radar, this may be some of the best tools we got right now. So here's that storm near Hansville that's thrown off the occasional bolt. It's nothing too angry. It's definitely firing in areas that have seen. Now look at this is telling. So what we're seeing here is our storm is essentially here and here. Maybe some cell activity. And then we have like this overshooting top. So what you'd be seeing if you're in Kamloops looking up right now is you're seeing, you know how thunderstorms sometimes have this mushroom cloud like look to them. And that's because the upper prevailing winds, the cloud gets to a height growing up where the prevailing winds catch it, and then it, you know, that jet stream carries that that anvil shape forward. So, and then often the direction of the anvil is facing is the direction that the storm's going to go. So, you know, what that would sort of speak to this, and this fairly developed looking storm here is, you know, these are storms that want to go more or less in this fashion. They're going the direction that these anvils face. Any questions? I can just check back and see if Lloyd from Canada, are we going to get some flashes in the lower mainland? It looks like it's quite likely that, and you know, in the next few hours, you might just see some of that. And some of the models I was seeing yesterday were that Harrison Lake area, Hope, looking like good candidates. The development of some of those stronger storms that are happening right now may steal some of that energy. We may have new cells that develop in behind. So that sort of things we'll have to watch as the night goes on. Mm-hmm. Hello, Annette Hatchie. There's a ton of lightning going on. And then here's this other storm. And again, the winds aloft are carrying the amp. So this is telling you which way the storm wants to go, more or less. That's where if you're on the ground, uh, you might be feeling winds right now coming from this direction, from the east, or you might be feeling a downdraft that hits a ridge crest and then drafts out from the west. And you're thinking to yourself, oh, which way is it going? Well, that there more or less tells us, the direction of those anvils, right? So that's what it looks like with infrared. Here's our clouds. Yeah, that gives us a really good look at that storm by Lillooet. Here we can really see some significant cells trying to develop. So this is a danger zone coming up, Kamloops, and outside. Yeah, and then look at the tops of some of these guys. These guys' tops, they don't seem to be, there seems to still be a bit of a cap that's keeping them from growing too tall. And you look at the top of this one cell. These guys are just blasting up. So just a little bit of an observation about the behavior right now, and maybe why these aren't more severe than they actually are acting. Still, that's been a lot of lightning. Let's go back to that radar because that's just the coolest. Instant flash, right? So okay, here's we got some fresh lightning and a new. So this storm. Let it refresh here in a sec. Just kind of jumped to the next series of hills and reformed some energy, and it's flashing. Seems to be right within the core or near the core. That's kind of nice. Best chance of rain. Here's Highway 5A. There's Stump Lake. There's Nicola Lake. Here's this other sort of trailing cell trying to puff up, trying to do something, trying to join in, trying to get into some of the action. That's 3 new lightning strikes there. Haven't seen much, but I mean, this little cell, it's still a pretty looking cell. He's kind of deep. There's 2 more fresh ones by Lillooet. Up in that same area we've been watching, where a few minutes ago we seen, 6, 7, 8 lightning strikes happen almost simultaneously. So probably this storm is going to start to try to jump its way into these hills quite soon. If not, perhaps even uh, a little more north, where we've already seen some lightning down near Shalalth. So might be nice if a little bit of this extends out over there and they get a little bit of rain to hopefully cool that off, anything that might have been hit. Fresh strike south Kamloops on the Highway 5A. So if you know where McLeod Lake is, anybody who lives in that area, keep your eye out that way today, tonight, tomorrow for possible fire starts. Two new ones. There's one out north of Pavilion where there's absolutely no rainfall. However, we do have, I believe, the system moving towards it. Sort of that plateau. Maybe that's where some of those farms are. And then we have another one now that's due west of Ashcroft. So that's kind of consistent of what I've been. Yeah, okay. Well, there's our situation right now. Any questions? Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you're, what are your chances for sugarcane? Um, Sugarcane, that's the one near Williams Lake. Seeing half-inch hail on U.S. radar near Sunshine Valley, says Cody Peabody. So that's interesting. Okay, yeah. Some juicy looking hail. I'm going to tend to myself for 2 seconds, if you don't mind. Fresh strikes, a bunch of them. So quite the discharge just happened. Flash, 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 flash. These are all fire concerns. Every one of these guys. And this is probably that storm that Cody's talking about down in Walla Walla, where it's been just super hot. I mean, and look at these cells. They're tall and aggressive, and they're deep. So lots of storm potential in Washington State. Look over here in Utah. Lots of lightning. The wildfire situation isn't just a BC problem right now. These the heat and these storms. Oh, just the one near the border by Hope. Okay. And this is one of the areas that we were talking about yesterday. And that's just firing off a lightning strike right now. So radar seeing that there's some hail floating around in this cell. And one could only guess where. There's some couple deep spots. This one looks like one you wouldn't want to be camping near. So there we go in the lower mainland. That's just straight west of Chilliwack in the Cascades there, straight southwest of Hope. Highway 3 corridor. So this is near, well, we know Manning Provincial Park is fairly heavily forested. So let's hope that cell is hitting rocks and not trees, right? right? Hitting rocks. Okay, I'm gonna take care of myself for 2 seconds. I haven't really eaten or taken care of myself, but the map is on, and for the next 45 seconds, you can enjoy watching lightning. If anybody has any fire reports of any kind or any first-hand knowledge, do leave it in the chat. I'm back here. I gotta kind of try to eat something a little bit. I can see the wispy tops from Princeton. So I think our storm threat for the caribou is overnight and into the morning, especially. Here's fresh lightning strike. What we don't have is sort of an organized line of storms. We have a couple pretty angry cells. They're kicking off a fair bit of lightning. At least any hail in that area will be. There's a fresh strike. Let's widen this out. That's the north side of 99 highway now. Outside a little wet, going in a little wet. Into the watershed, that strike. Hopefully some rain happening there. Got a bit of a core happening. Fresh one in Kamloops. Oh, a couple more there outside, a little wet. Here's this guy. Boom. This guy, I keep thinking he's going to do this, but he seems to be veering maybe these target areas towards Barrier and Salmon Arm. are all possible directions this guy could go. Maybe Kamloops, you'll find yourself catching these tails and behind. I wish I could. I know what I can do. Ah, four more lightning strikes. This one really close to Lillooet. There's that little forestry road right outside of town. Anybody in Lillooet, you can see that right from town. Keep your eyes that direction for fire starts. Oh, a bunch of fresh lightning strikes. Kamloops, you might be able to hear that one. That's the hills just outside of town. Four freshies here. That's west of 5A. That's that cell near Stump Lake that's been, it's been temperamental. It hasn't been quite as cohesive as our guy by Lillooet has been. This guy that's coming towards Princeton, he's certainly a nice looking storm. Grand Forks, haven't seen much lightning there for a while. It'd be nice to, neat to see if this guy pulls together anymore. If this guy stays organized, if they can separate, we might have two pretty aggressive thunderstorms. So there's severe watches on that. I haven't looked at just to make sure they haven't been dropped yet. No, they're still on severe thunderstorm watch. Looks like Tatler Lake is getting lit. Yes. Huge Madison, the Hope Telemine storm. So that overshooting top is coming towards Cody. He can see that now. And that's, well, we can see that. He can see that. He's sitting here in Princeton. And, here's the storm cells. And here's the overshooting top that's reaching out and beyond the core of the storm, getting caught in the upper drafts. So this guy here, he's been kind of temperamental near Kamloops. Not quite as cohesively organized as these other two are. Fresh lightning strike. Just in the border country there, EC Manning Provincial Park, Red Mountain. Maybe if I ate more food, I'd have energy in my streams. It'd be fucking interesting. Like, blah, blah, blah. There's a thunderstorm in BC. Yeah, I'm one interesting guy, man. Don't let your kids grow up to be weather nerds. Always just looking off into space. Like Luke Skywalker. Always looking off. Never his mind on where he was going, what he was doing. That's pretty dry country here. We're getting a lot of lightning strikes. That's a fresh one. That has got no access of any kind to it. That's just south of Marble Canyon. Zap, 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 zap. Five just went off. One right down the valley. Tayush Valley. A couple more in the ridge crests. What is sort of relieving to see is that there is possibly some rain where we've seen some of these dry lightning strikes. You know, that's some energy. Ba-ba-ba-bam! You have these guys up here. We got no radar feed, so that's a bummer. That's right where the Chilco and Chilcotin rivers sort of meet, due west of Alexis Creek. 3 strikes in the last few minutes. Yeah, those are very decent looking storms now. Like, oh, we got one right in Kamloops. So that's in the hill above Mission Flats. So it looks like Kamloops is going to see a little bit of lightning. That's very close to town. So when you're driving into Kamloops from, say, Cache Creek, and there's like a weird jail or something around here. I don't know. There's like a series of high hills. There's a couple radio towers up here. So that's where these hills are. Definitely got some storm energy near Vancouver now. Nothing too fancy, but will they possibly see a few zaps tonight? Yeah, maybe. Okay, let me. Sorry about all the zooming around, moving around. Wait for a lightning strike and investigate. What I haven't done is check interior weather and wilderness watchers to see what anyone else is saying. Because we may have first-hand reports from people. So here we go now. Environment Canada's maps that from 1987. This is that guy that is coming towards Princeton that Cody's looking at. Here's these ones just kind of missing Kamloops, but sort of touching it. Here's our one that's firing off like nuts. And then here's our ones out in the Chilcotin that we really have no radar imaging on. And it's that's a friggin' shame. Let's just look quickly and see if anyone on Weather Watches is reporting anything interesting. This is the group I run. If you've never seen it before, Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers. So what's in that saying? Which app is this, Joey? This is windy.com that I'm using. So it's probably not as good, I was saying before, as some of your weather apps for watching lightning. Mr. Tongue. Um, it's only going to measure the strongest lightning strikes. But also, we don't have radar out of the Prince George region whatsoever right now. So that makes it really hard for us to see what's going on in there. So severe warning. Oh, that's for Monday, August 1st. Oh, yeah, there was some good northern lights the other night. So no one's posting anything too much. A couple pending posts. No one's saying anything too crazy about lightning right now. I got my inbox is just lighting up. Oh, Tara Oleman. And I'll send her the link. Boom. That's close to Williams Lake. Out that way. Where was I? I was just talking about you on this live stream. So what's Tara Oleman got here in Shalath? This is the storm that. Oh yeah, she's. So that's some of those bolts that we were just looking at. Isn't that amazing? When we seen like four or five go off, she caught that on video. So that's crazy. And we see that there's been some lightning strikes on some of these real dry hillsides outside the storm itself, right? So we're just sort of hoping that it comes around, and that's it comes around and it gets some rain on there. So I like the Windy app because a I pay for the premium package. So yeah, it is really starting to go off out there west of Williams Lake now. News radar shows this guy near Kamloops looking still a little more organized than it was. It's a little more cohesive. It's kind of like three or four cells trying to be one. So they're probably going to. So that's just south of Monty Creek. Anybody living near Monty Creek, you might hear the faintest rumble from that one in a matter of a few seconds. So yes, we were watching that series of lightning strikes rip across these mountains right here, and Tara Oleman sitting down in Schloss managed to get video of that. So that was pretty cool. I hope she posts that to Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers and reminds everyone. I should have also mentioned that there's severe storm watches on, but I guess I named the video severe storm watches, so it's not like I'm not telling anybody. This guy, little guy down by Trail, or by Grand Forks, he's moved off to the mountains. Hasn't produced a lot of lightning. There's some fresh guys by Princeton. This storm, that's the one that Cody said U.S. radar is seeing hail in. That's pretty deep looking right there. The mountains have several hot spots within this sort of system. Convection going off on the mountains. So each individual series of highlands kind of providing its own. Oops. But, I would say the core of the storm is definitely where, oh, look at this. Gold Bridge just got a lightning strike. And there is absolutely no fucking rain anywhere near there. And we know lightning can reach far. Like the furthest lightning bolt ever measured was like 160 fucking kilometers, right? So here's your one charge. It's sitting up in the mount hill, and then here's your other one here. It's like feeling around for somewhere to strike, and then for some bizarre reason, it goes wonk, and that's clearly outside of anywhere getting rain. So that's a straight up fire consuming strike, reaching well outside of the thunderstorm. Ho! This one's getting angrier. It's gaining energy as the evening goes on, and that's what's kind of funny about these thunderstorms too. It's not like at 4 o'clock this afternoon things were really rocking. I mean, we were on here and we were talking. That's three that came together. We're talking at 4 o'clock, and there's definitely thunderstorm activity going on. These are prettier looking storms, and they're more pissed off. They're definitely kicking out a lot more action than they were at 4 o'clock, and they have a. I mean, this is a really nice looking development. This guy, right? So try to get try to get an angle where we can see everything. Mm-hmm. When you looked at Environment Canada, it looked like there's three lines. of lightning activity. Look at the tops of these storms just billowing up. These are tall guys. All these guys are very tall. Here's this one. There's these guys. There's this one sort of outside Princeton. Threatening Princeton. Probably not going to hit the. Well, we don't know. I'd be guessing that it wants to trail in behind these guys. And it looks like the jet stream wind is pushing them this direction right now. So anybody who's in, these guys seem to be sitting stagnant. They're not really moving at all. They haven't been moving with the radar. Well, with the lightning updates on Environment Canada, we've just seen these kind of cells sitting sort of in one area more or less, billowing around and doing their thing. So maybe they'll eventually pick a direction and go somewhere, but they may just flash around for quite a while there. Whereas these guys seem to be more interested in moving, and they got a definite direction. So that means if you're in the pathway, Chase, Monty Creek, we were talking about Falkland earlier, you may be just on the outside of it, but you may see some of that storm, especially as it gets dark. I'm guessing that Clinton and 100 Mile House are areas that could see this guy move into that direction tonight. So we get a real good idea of where the core of the rain and the energy is when we look at this radar. But when we look at that larger map, it really shows us what the bigger picture of the cloud is, right? Here's fresh strike by Lillooet again. A couple more. Ooh, finally we're seeing some activity on Vancouver Island. Nice thing about this time of night, if you're watching storms, is they really light up. I mean, Cody thinks there's some rotation going on now in the Tulameen storm. So it's, and if you look at the shape of it, um, I mean, yeah, it does have some cohesiveness together. You know, it's not, and look at it, there's a bit of a tail even in behind, right? So again, I'm not saying that you know, these are tornado storms or something, right? Like I'm not here to be some alarmist. But if you're out in the mountains, uh, there are sometimes a couple minutes of really crazy things that happen that may not be a tornado or maybe a tornado. Here's one other one right in Kamloops. So anybody who well, fuck it, I hit right downtown. So that probably made a racket. I'm sure people in Kamloops are woke up to that. Well, okay. Lightning tracker says it hit the river. Whoa. So as we were saying, this seems to have a general motion in the upper atmosphere, going like so. When we look at that radar weather satellite image, we could see the top and where the anvil is more or less pointing. So certainly our friends in Monty Creek, Pritchard, Chase, Squilax, Sorrento, Blind Bay, Sun Peaks. Those are all places that in the next hour or two or three may see some of this action come north. This guy's moved quickly now. He's on the move. He's probably going to skip right through Princeton, but Tulameen, he's already had some thunderstorm activity a couple times today. I mean, that's bordering into purple there. So that's deep. That's definitely bam. Take that, squirrel. That's definitely looking angrier. And Cody says it's got he thinks there's rotation in there. I could see how there could be some. hmm I mean, the shape of the cloud itself, the shape of the storm itself, has that roundishness feature to it. It's separated, it's in by itself. For a storm to really get strong and tall and get whipping. So you have like usually two kinds of storms. You have frontal storms, which are a big low pressure is moving in and along a whole line. There's a bunch of storms that go off, and sometimes at the front of that system, it can be really, really aggressive. However, uh, most severe storms that are isolated thunderstorms like this, their behavior is a little different. So you're Mount Snyder. So this is again, they've already seen lots of lightning in this area today already. So fire threat right in the heavily forested provincial park. But yeah, really nicely developed looking storms. Bam, out in the ocean. Take that, squid. God's like just picking random animals. Finally, one down your so there's Grand Forks. I fought a forest fire. Mm, yeah, up here, somewhere up here, up this road. Lynch Creek. A couple more lightning strikes now. Outside Hope. That would be visible from Highway 1. Anybody in that area, be watching those places in the next coming days for fire. What was I going to say before that went off? I got to floss my teeth for a second because they hurt. And I don't want to do that in front of you because, well, who cares? Ah! Mm. Ah, get it out. Oh, relief. So we've seen this guy's moved a little bit again. So it may want to hug up the Fraser River for a while, but definitely we're looking at sort of this projection area for the next little while where I think it's quite likely that you'll see some nighttime lightning. So thanks for just watching Fire Talk and Lightning with me. 3 more. So I'll be visible. You'll be able to hear that from Monty Creek here in a couple seconds. Anybody who's watching in Monty Creek, listen right now. bam, 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 bam. It's lighting up. You see that real purplish core? That's getting closer to Cody there. Got to be hailing that. I mean, come on, that's deep. It definitely has a little bit of a tail in behind. Another one. This little storm's heating up. It's got a real regular shape to it, eh? It's just this weird blob of. It's like what do you call this storm? So we'll call it fucking Newfoundland. So there's Newfoundland. So it's got a nice round shape. He's a real bubbler. Clinton. You can see this now. You're starting to probably worry. I'd worry. Pretty dry there. Joey, would you say it's time to be scared? Yes. Sell everything. If it's not forest fires, it's going to be aliens, or it's going to be robots, monkey bots, corona of monkeys. Again, more down there. That's a happening little cell. What do we got going on here at Environment Canada? Is it going to give us any updates? So still those severe thunderstorm watches are on. Is it going to say anything? Conditions may be favorable for the development of severe thunderstorms. It's like they're just taking a guess. Like I hate the wording. I'm so bored of this format, and especially when they're not really giving us any details. Like, an air mass is doing this tonight. So that when you look at Environment Canada's page, because they're the pros, you feel like you know something about what's happening, and then you won't be watching Joey Only's channel because, well, fuck, Environment Canada's told you everything for free. The government's giving you everything you need, but no, you gotta help support Joey Only grow a channel. Here's our storms we're watching right now. This Grand Forks guy, right up by Lynch Creek there. You got this little bubbler here, and we got this guy here, and we got okay, wham bam, thank you ma'am by Prince Dan. And over here on Vancouver Island is this guy, and then over here, this is the guy that is just shooting random squids with fucking 10 times the fucking power of the sun. Bam! Take that, squids. They're all coming up to feed at this time of night. They're like, it's getting dark out. Nature's like, oh, there's a constant lightning on the Tulameen storm. Yes, posted 2 pics of the cloud above us at Sugarcane. It's a pending post, I believe. I accepted it, Cody says. Thank you very much. So thank you to everybody who's watching right now. Hey, down here, there's a add reaction button you can always put on. There's a say something here. You can say, Joey, you got spaghetti sauce on your face. Here, create a poll if you, at least I can do that. I don't know if you can. You can also show your support for Joey Only Carry Weather Dude. Think about all the millions of times that, the 36 million times that you checked Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers, and you're like, man, Joey got it again. And what a nice guy. So you can buy, it's $2 to buy me a coffee, share, and, all that, just support the channel. Okay. Whack, 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 whack a doodle. This is all well outside. 4 strikes outside. That's up the Alicum. I got friends up there. They, yeah. People live in the Alicum, and they don't do anything that the government wouldn't like them to do. They're very law-abiding, wonderful people who have never smoked weed or done anything fun. So, hi, my friends in the Yalacum, I love you. So that's that Bridge River Road. That's really rocky and dry in here. And when you come up Bridge River, it's kind of a nice drive. Weasels around. Comes to Carpenter Lake. So that's where those strikes are. Starting to see now. This storm was really sitting, not very long ago on these mountain peaks, and I said it's going to try to jump. It's gone more northerly, so everyone sitting over here has kind of been spared a little bit, and it's made that jump to the next section of mountains, right? So these are, and if you can tell by the topography on the map, these are really tall peaks, right? This is really tall mountains. This is all the 9,000 foot, 8,000 foot plus mountains, 9,000, even maybe a few of them taller, right? So that's that. What does the storm want to do? Oops, what does the storm want to do? But it's like it's sitting on one set, and then kind of the energy sort of morphs over, and then before you know it, it's kind of taking hold on this whole new mountain. It's like pops up, and there it is again, right? So, oops, let's clear all drawings. So we see that guy's moving. We see Clinton's getting closer to the action. And here's our storm down by Princeton that's really going off. Got a little bit of lightning happening on Vancouver Island. Still, this is you know where this is. That's up Mount Sir Albert Edward area. Shepherd Central Crags. Maybe a little bit wrong. Close. That's this area. Washington. That's what I meant to say. Waddington. That's up on the coast. So Crookshank River. I've camped. There's Mount Albert Edward. So I've camped at the edge of the Crookshank Canyon. There's campsites along here on this plateau, but us being young people like we were, we went down into the valley for several days of fooling around and came up and around and up the backside of Mount Albert Edward. And we're at the top of uh, some craggy mountain here that was really beautiful. So we had a couple really excellent summits. That was in 2002. That's one of the tallest mountains on Vancouver Island. So it makes sense there's some convection going on there. Oh yeah, look it down there in the United States. So it's getting to nighttime. And that means anybody anywhere near these storms is going to be able to see the sky lighting up. So there was a great article today on the Weather Network. There's another one down by that same area here. Ugh. Same area. Just spelling heat lightning. Heat lightning, there's no such fucking thing. So now that we have a full set of scientific knowledge, we know what lightning does and doesn't do. There is kind of this old belief that heat would somehow just make random light. It doesn't make thunder, and well, that's absolutely not true. What will happen is it's getting darker. you could be sitting on a high hill, you're probably near Williams Lake now, and see that flash, right? So, and you might not be able to see the cloud, and you might not be able to see the storm, and you'll say, it must be heat lightning or sheet lightning or something, right? But no, every lightning strike is every bolt is a bolt. It's just at nighttime you can see a flash of lightning for a long ways. Lots of fresh strikes down here outside Hope. So we're looking at yesterday. We are talking about where we expected some nighttime storms to be. I sort of thought that there'd be a target area more like this. What's happened is we got a stronger condensed storm that's tightened itself up. So instead of having wide and storms along this line, which you can see, there's a trend there, right? But what's happened is this guy has sucked in a lot of energy around him. This guy's trying to pop up in front. If the night cools things off, maybe these storms will lose some momentum. Now my drawing looks like shit. Sorry. Uh, this guy wants, it might join in. I don't think it's going to just completely break free. Probably going to get consumed by this guy. So that's what it's been doing. But kind of, it's been sucking things into it to get and if there is any rotation, like Cody says, well, and now you're seeing why there isn't anything going on in this Harrison area that we expected to see thunderstorms starting sometime around now, going in through the night, right? So these are sort of the variables in forecasting that make it forecasting difficult. So anybody in Harrison Lake would be like, well, man, like he was saying there was going to be storms tonight, and well, there wasn't. Or maybe there will be a little bit still. We do have a bit of a trailing energy down here, right? And we've seen some of this stuff. It looks like this has mostly moved north and made the jump across the water. Uh, that energy that was sitting near Nanaimo and whatnot. So that's what a strong storm is going to do when it gets on its own like that. Is it's going to eat up, and that's going to help it get spinning, right? So as it's pulling in everything from all around it, and what is low pressure? What does it do? But it makes a counterclockwise motion. High pressure, what does high pressure do? Well, high pressure is always goes clockwise, right? So that's the two competing tendencies in weather: high pressure and low pressure, and how they behave. Lots of new strikes. It's kind of fun. I don't know if anyone's watching besides 3 or 4 of you, but hey, right on. Look at that, Monte Creek. So that's what we were saying they could be expecting, and that's exactly where the storm seems to be going. And again, everybody who's in Sun Peaks Chase, Squilax, Blind Bay, Celesta. We have quite a few people on Interior Weather and Wilderness Watches who live in Celesta. So you're all in the possible zone of where this sort of line of cells wants to unfurl itself. So definitely that's concerning. Lightning in the hills there. Maybe one of the benefits of having these storms tighten up like they have is that we're not seeing widespread lightning across a broad front everywhere. You know what I mean? What we're seeing is instead very tight areas that are getting zapped pretty good right now. And well, we've seen that all these places have seen lightning so far today. Now, maybe we could expand that out just a little bit. So everywhere in this area has seen activity at some point today or another. Flash, bam, Yeah, so it looks like 100 Mile House may get these ones may be starting to move a little bit. They may have let go now that the night's coming. So what could that mean? Well, we do know that the forecast that we are talking about many times is called for uh, definitely everywhere in this area 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 a.m. already to see activity kicking off, right? So storms through the nighttime, maybe as early as 2 a.m. here in Wells. So that's consistent. So this is kind of like a broad trend here. It's separated itself into two storms, or into three separate areas of storms, I should say. Sorry. So got this trend here, and then kind of this bigger one. And here's obviously that low pressure. You can see what I was talking about, how this is the main low that's feeding everything. And you can see, oh, I'm sorry, my drawings are so bad. You can see how it's got that counterclockwise motion. That's what low pressure does. So those are beautiful looking storms right now. Clearly developed. Oh yeah, clearly developed storms. Holy, Vancouver Island just had a bunch. That's some areas west of Old River where there does not seem to be any rain going on right now. Right, so Vancouver Island not typically a huge wildfire zone, but things have been dry, and they're getting their fair share of lightning all day. Really, it's fuck. They've had a lot of lightning today. I'm jealous. I mean, personally, I there's two more at the same time. That's straight west of Sun Peaks. Some forestry roads there. This other guy's down by Falkland. There's 97 highway. Some logging roads that go up into that. There's over a bit of a pass there between those high hills. Good access is always nice when you're seeing lightning strikes. That's getting real purple in there. Where's our Cape Index right now? So look at this. This is telling. Here's a new convective available potential energy. So right in front, these are all the areas that was just saying that are likely to get that storm. Right in front of this storm, which is currently right here, uh, sort of. That's Saturn. So there's Saturn. It's just fucking right there in BC. So right in front to feed into this guy is some very active energy, very deep energy. And we have quite a bit of energy still sitting up in the Caribou and Prince George. So that may tell you where those storms want to go. I'll give you some clues. Anyone talking? Karen a lot. You call them beautiful storms. I definitely don't. Well, I mean, why not? I mean, this is life on Earth. It's very interesting. So we got some movement again. And we just saw in that Cape measurement that right now all sitting right here is humid, thick, hot, energetic air mass that this storm is going to want to eat right up like fucking Pac-Man would. I saw our storm out by the Lillooets. Calm down a little. It's had a lot of lightning at one point. It doesn't have what you notice just in the color, you know. So here's rain, inches an hour, dBz, millimeters an hour. So there's some bit of rain in here. Looks like more or less it's kind of mellowed out a little bit. We don't see much lightning. Whereas these guys here, look at the tops of them. They're turning red. There's some purple in here. That's a pissed off storm. It's like, I'm mad. Someone pay attention to me. Flash. You might get some heavy dumps of rain in those really localized spots. And then we still see just outside Princeton, very deep. That must be, look at that. It's pure purple now, Cody. That's, I don't know what your the American side radar shows, but that's, I would guess that's hail in there and all kinds of things you don't want to be sleeping out in the middle of the woods in. You're so, and that's how people are. They're just like, hey man, like I got tonight, tomorrow off. Let's go fishing at some lake and get totally fucking drunk. Good idea. And then they get out there and they weren't members of Joey Only's project. They had no idea. They just yahoos. They drove all day from Vancouver on their one day off to go be in nature, and now they're sitting right here. They're in Hope Manning Park, just getting fucked right over. Hail, heavy wind. It doesn't. That's unfortunate. The wind doesn't give us a whole lot. My wind radar, my wind map doesn't say much. Again, more. Lodestone Mountain. Don't mind me for eating and flossing. I need new teeth, basically. I'm in my 40s, and my dad, I do my best here. I know a lot. I'm sure many of you viewers are sitting on millions of dollars. You put a coffee, tip me with a coffee, and then I'll go in the theater tomorrow morning in Wells and just be like, "Yeah, man, make it the good coffee today, Walker. No drip coffee for me. Give me some of that fancy yuppie shit you got. Like froth that stuff up. Make it all frothy. Someone bought me a coffee last night on my YouTube channel. So there's that, and there's that, and there's that. Let's just go have a quick look again. I'm just curious if these are going to change at all. No, Fraser Canyon, Nicola, South Thompson. That's still where they want to hedge their bets on. That's where you're going to get the angriest tonight. What's our lightning doing right now? Well, we've seen on the lightning tracker more or less, but all along Highway 20. We were looking at some of those clouds a little while ago on the satellite. Just poofy. Here's our guy by Lillooet. He's jumping mountain now. I mean, it's stalling out that storm. Maybe it'll find some more energy as it gets to its next mountain. Storms are either growing or dying. They're never like just sitting. They're never just, hi, here I am. I'm just going to stay this way for a while. No, they have to be convecting upwards or they have to be dumping their guts. That's the only two things they do. Here's this guy just east of Kamloops. and we saw that there's lots of cape value right here. I'm writing with my right hand. That makes it even harder. Cape, because I'm not even right-handed. Can't you tell just by my fucking behavior? Here's our guy by Grand Forks. Here's that one little nub that's separated off from our real storm that we're still watching. This is definitely this blue guy here. Look at he's all blue. And Vancouver Island. That's more or less what we've been watching on the lightning tracker. But here's the grade 2 version on Environment Canada. Anybody saying anything? Tattooed Cootie. Good evening from Princeton. You must be seeing. It's getting dark. You must be seeing some of that lightning from your doorstep. I love a good storm, just not in the summer. Well, that's when fucking storms happen, Karen. They don't happen like in the winter much. We're where are the storms? Where are the storms at? Graceful dancers. Where are the storms at? Here's where they're at. So we got if you're just tuning in to the stream, you got where there's no radar, these SOBs out here, like 6 of them or 25 of them. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of cells right here, and they're just kicking off lightning. But the trackers aren't picking up very much here. But if you have your what we call it there, weather network tracker, that will definitely be showing that. So here's the big gap where Environment Canada said, you know what, for the entire summer, let's just not have any radar. We don't need radar in Prince George. Now, of course, what's going to happen? These are beautiful looking radar feeds, and this is way better than. So it's great that they're replacing all these stations. It just sucks when it's your turn and it's the middle of the summer. Like, couldn't you do that in the winter, or couldn't you have it still going? So here's here's where our storms are. Yale seeing a little edge of it. Hope seeing a bit of an edge. Maybe some sprinkles of rain in there, tailing off to the edge, and but right there along this purple here, that's right up on Lodestone Mountain, Mount Jackson. Woohoo! Mount Jackson! Grasshopper Mountain. Grasshopper. So there's that one. That's our angriest looking storm right now. Right near there is another guy who's come on, zooms. Right where Highway 5A and 97C start to cross and some of those high hills there. It's been lighting up a little bit. Definitely got some aggressive energy there. Seems like a new cell is trying to find some life down by Spence's, between Lower Nicola and Spence's Bridge. So that's this guy here. Here's our other real story right now. This one's really active. Look at that. 2 big strikes just as I start looking at them. And that's the one we're looking at the Cape value, convective available potential energy values. And we saw that right in front of that storm. Right now, there's a lot of energetic air mass there. So I would expect that as this storm moves into Solista and Chase, Salmon Arm, probably going to miss it. It's going to suck in a lot of that energy. This storm's going to kick ass for a while. So anybody, there's no, yeah. This is our guy that was really flashing like a bastard earlier, and it's settled down. It's starting to get some dark colors inside there again. It's kind of kept its shape. Hasn't been much lightning in there for a while, but there was a lot earlier. That could still find some energy tonight. It seems like these storms aren't lacking for energy at this time of night, and usually by this time of the day, storms are saying like, "Well, I think I've had enough. You win, nature." No, these ones are going to flash all night long. They're going to put on a show for anybody who's anywhere near them. Any questions? I've not looked out the window yet. Well, that's how could you stop looking at my face and my maps? So here I'm telling you to Here I'm telling you to not watch my channel. Look out your window. Go see. There's a storm outside your window. By the way, but don't look because subscribe. Everyone pay attention to my channel. So the thunderstorm watch is still in effect for South Thompson, and it still says absolutely fucking nothing. Conditions may be favorable, and thanks Environment Canada. My kitty wants out now. There's our grade 2 looking map of Environment Canada gives us. Let's go back to Windy. And any other questions before I go? Okay, gonna leave you on the map here for a minute. Been streaming for like an hour and a half. Still flashing down there. Went by a tattooed kitty. Is the tattooed kitty like tattooed in the ear, like some numbers? What's interesting, if you just notice that, Cody, if you're still watching, yes, kitty, I'll let you out in a second. Is this one just took a bit of a jaunt this way? And Cody said that he thinks this is rotating. And well, if that's the case, that's sometimes why you see a storm take a meander in its direction, especially when it gets isolated like that. It can, we see like some of those colors in there, those are dark. Those are very dark, like my heart, like my soul. They said, "Do you have a soul?" And I said, "Yes, I have asshole." Use it every day. Finally, that's some new lightning. So that guy's made a jump, and that's kind of what I was saying earlier. It may start finding some activity again. It was either dying or being born. Storms are never staying the same. So that's up the Bridge River Road, and this is an epic drive, right? So you like drive along the Bridge River, and it's super steep this way, and there's rocks falling down from up here onto you. And then if you look over the edge, there's like cars from 1950, all smashed up from 300 feet down there. And then you drive right through this lightning strike. It won't be there. They only last a second. And then you come around this section here, and what's really cool is, and you can almost tell, the road goes through this really steep section of canyon, and the mountain literally hangs over the road. It's one of the coolest things you'll ever see. And then you come out to here, and there's a nice dam on Carpenter Lake, and then you can go up Carpenter and cross over the Seton Lake Highline Road down to where Tara Ullman was taking pictures earlier at Shalath, where she sent that video. So that storm, it was sitting, like so. Oh, that's right outside the zone. That sucks. Where are you? So that's at the very top of the Alicum. So anybody who's got weed crops up there, I hope they don't burn up. But on the other hand, lightning is a great fixture of nitrogen. It acts as a fertilizer. It's one of nature's fertilizers. So if your weed doesn't get blown up by lightning, at least the discharge for whatever number of kilometers around the bolt will help your crops grow. Holy! So this guy is totally charged back up. What I was going to say before that was when we first started the broadcast, it was sitting down here, and now it's made the jump, and it's starting to find some energy again as it finds new country and new convection. So maybe that storm will waken up some again because it certainly kept its structure. So there's absolutely no reason why it won't. If everything else is still flashing, look at this. So it's like things are not done. So that's just outside Yale, two strikes, and then we got another one on the between Yale and Boston Bar, just up Spuzum, down your Spuzum Mountain. That's concerning. No rainfall happening there whatsoever, and that's super hot and dry country. It's probably still pretty warm there. How warm is it right now in that area? Uh, in 10 minutes, my internet will tell me. Here, cat. Happy hunting, buddy. See you tomorrow. So it just doesn't want to show me temperature, I guess. I'm just too zoomed in. So still fairly warm there, 16 degrees. Definitely cooler though than what it's been at this time of night. Usually you would expect to see the last number of nights numbers that are a little bit more north of Salmon Arms temperature right now, right? And where that convective available potential energy has been. Look at this convergence going on right now in the Caribou. Oh my. Okay, so look at all these different winds at the surface. This guy's going this way. This guy's coming in. This guy's coming in. These guys are going that way. These guys are going this way. They're all, you know what they're doing? There's a word for this. Um, that's the word. The word for it is when the warm air sinks down and somebody help me. Why is it not there? So that's what's going on there is something that I cannot remember the friggin' name of. Inversion. Inversion is going on. And look at here's that low. Look at him just spinning around. Look at me. I'm spinny. Ah, clear all my drawings. So here's our thunderstorms right now. Here's our fire concerns. Definitely. This guy's finally doing what I said it would probably do, and it's getting sucked in somehow. So maybe it's going to join in. This is definitely taking a jaunt off, and if Cody's correct that it's spinning and rotating, that's what you'd expect to see. A storm that was apparently going one direction, taking just a veer, a little moment of and then course correction when it maybe stop loses some of that anger. And then here's just the strange line that's been there for hours. I don't know what that's about. That's got to be some kind of a radar echo. So I wouldn't take that too seriously. But very, very deep still this storm. Very deep. And we know that there was some real convective energy here. So this little line's gonna flash around. And I just wish we could see more without using a satellite of what's going on elsewhere in the Prince George region. Someday we'll have a satellite. Lots of lots of storms. And there's these guys out in the Chilcotin who are probably going to veer into the Caribou somehow. If all this doesn't kind of take a bit of a turn on its way out. So I hope this has been helpful and informative. Ah, take that, squid. Take that. Hope this has been informative and helpful. Definitely that's crossing the road now. Tulameen, you are getting hammered. Good news, it's raining really hard in that core, and quite likely some blasts of hail still. Mount Rabbit, Mount Riddle, Otter Mountain, Mount Jackson, Hamilton Hill, Tanglewood Hill, Coal Mount, Grasshopper Mountain. Those are all areas that are seeing that thunderstorm right now. Really centered in on it. It sent a little bit of flanking action out towards this area. We have seen a few lightning strikes. That's not really the show. Those are just sort of flanking clouds that maybe puffing up off those mountains there. So, where are we going to see forest fire stories popping up tomorrow? I mean, really, all this area has had lots of activity. So we won't know, but that's what concerns me is if these don't get doused by rain, they have the whole day to start cooking off and set root. And then if we have dozens and dozens of fires in the morning, that may set us up for the system be a little bit overwhelmed, right? And then maybe a crew like mine will find itself, oh, here we go. Crew like myself will find ourselves called outside of our zone. I'm stationed to the so that's definitely moving right to Chase. That's right now in Nisconlith right now. Just coming into Nisconlith. So all my friends there by the Reds. You're hearing that pretty good. It's made that jump right across in the last 45 minutes or so. It's moving pretty quick now. This guy, when we started this guy here has moved that far so far tonight. Three new strikes there. That's what you'll be watching for. Anybody in Salmon Arm, Kamloops, in between there, looking for fire starts. Anybody in these hills in between, be watching for fire starts tomorrow in the coming days. The fires may not take off right away. They may take a few days to sort of set root and find something that can really get them going. So definitely everyone in this area, keep your heads up. And then we know that there's these storms out here that aren't on radar. So they're going to hit the Caribou overnight into morning. And then set us up for some good developments tomorrow. When I think tomorrow night, the big show is going to be somewhere in this area, and probably more in the PG to Mackenzie corridor. I think there's going to be a significant thunderstorm there tomorrow night. We have a significant thunderstorm right here. So saying that one's possible, well, and we all but called this, right? So, I mean, the models are pretty good when you're looking at 24 to 48 hours in advance, especially. You know, what I was saying before was we expected, wow, lots of strikes. We expected there'd be more activity kind of in this area, and this storm has sucked that energy into it and become its own monster. That's a really and Princeton, you're just on the edge of her now. You got to be seeing some of that lightning there, Tattooed Kitty and Cody. Hopefully, Cody's out getting footage or something. Just, just bordering on Princeton. So you're definitely seeing that lightning in those mountains now, flashing in the nighttime, and you're probably staring at it with some sort of reverence and awe, like I do. That's a very strong storm. Like it's bordering on severe for sure. definitely. And then we had a lightning strike again up by, this is outside the Yalicum maybe now, or is it? Yeah, Yalicum's over here. So this is well outside any rain. This is very dry country still, although you're getting up into some mountaintops there. So, but here's where your storm is, and in its search for somewhere to strike, it decided to go way over here. Unless there's a cell sitting here that's so dim that it's not being picked up by radar, but that is possible, because it looks like you know, but lightning can reach a long ways, right? So a whole bunch of fresh strikes. That's five in the hills on the north side of Highway 1, north of Pritchard. Nisconlith reserves in here. There's Nisconlith Lake. Five fresh strikes. Some possible rainfall going on in these red zones. And then maybe that'll make its way into here. So hopefully those get doused. You especially hate seeing the lightning striking to the flanks out. And that's what I didn't like about this guy over here, was that it was a clear reach out of the storm to a flank where, I mean, here's where your rain's been, if there's been rain, right? Now, at least with these guys, they're reaching ahead of the storm. Well, the rain will catch up and get some water on that area at least, right? So that's the kind of one that, and how many there's been today like this. That's the kind of one that really uh, you put an exclamation point on. If you're sitting there at BC Wildfire Service right now looking at maps and trying to decide where to keep your eyes on things in the morning, those are the kinds of spots that you take note of. You got the storms moving. The chase about to get lit up. I don't know if we have any change so far. And so it still says it probably says nothing. The storm's starting to expand out. It picked up this little cell and is dragging it into it. Here's a guy, he's about to hit chase. Here's our guy that's moved off from Lillooet and is making eyes towards Caribou. And here's the guy that just struck outside in the middle of nowhere. And then Vancouver Island, still getting lots. Now, what I'm suspecting is because the strongest strikes only get picked up on the Blitzertongue map, that a lot of those are probably the ground strikes that we're looking at too, right? So uh, some of these storms, like this guy, it may be a lot of flashing in the clouds, and we're not seeing a lot of like intense ground striking. And maybe the same like these. We've had some that get picked up here on those lightning trackers, but there's been a hey Tyler, some flash flooding and slides up around Spencer's Bridge this evening, and Highway 1 is closed. Okay, so that's news to me. Thank you very much for that update, Snowman. Hello, my old friend there, Tyler McKnight. Thanks for supporting the channel like you so often do. There's storms coming up from Washington. Absolutely, the whole sky is lit up here. Tattoo Kitty saying so. Yes, she looked out her window. Where am I at? Tattoo Kitty's at Princeton, so she's seeing this guy right now. And we got a couple probable ground strikes Okay. So you might be seeing a lot more lightning flashing. And that may be cloud to cloud activity or maybe some weak activity, right? Thursday, Saturday, those are our storm days for BC. Look at these cells just popping west of or east of Kennewick, Washington. And so Tyler's down here and Nelson here somewhere. And may not see much yet, but at some point in the next 4 days, you're going to see action. I just got this feeling that there won't be anybody in BC who doesn't see the sky flash at least once, in southern BC. The question is the timing of things, right? And here's me flossing right on camera in my own channel. I can't take a bite of food anymore uh, without my teeth bothering me so, right? So Tara Ullman's got some new video here. Well, that's what she was seeing in Shalath. That's at Seton Portage. Where Seton Lake, yeah, that was a real flasher. So definitely, she's on the fire department there. Definitely, they'll be keeping their nose and eyes open in the coming hours. Lots of people sending me photos and videos and want to ask me about my what? I'm sure that's not what Terry Beth's asking me about. I'm sure that's the first three letters of what starts with Rod. Yeah, so that's it's really been hot down there. That's gonna fire all night long there. Here's the first time I've looked at this cell near Princeton that I thought it's finally losing some energy. Finally. Still got a pretty good core that's just passed over tuning. And maybe as this guy feeds in, it'll get a second flare up. It's still got some good structure. But we did see that with this guy here near Little and whatnot. The same thing kind of happened. It kind of hit its climax and it's really lost its structure now since, right? And that's Tara Ullman was filming there, somewhere down here. Sorry, that's probably Carpenter Lake. Somewhere down there. I don't know. Ground strikes outside on the Highway 20 corridor, a bunch. Anaheim Lake. So I know exactly where. Isn't that interesting? So all winter, if you look at my videos about where I was timber cruising, I was essentially at a camp, take a road down from Nasco. There's these mountains you've seen in some of my videos. I had a wild horse encounter somewhere out here for a couple days. Timber cruised here, did a lot of layout that sucked here. Sorry. And then we did a bunch of epic side missions through some of these areas, right? So, I mean, that's supposed to be confidential, but they don't pay me anymore. I don't care. That's where I was. And some of those logging companies left some really shitty slash piles, particularly a company out of Vanderhoof didn't, as a firefighter. Here's another flash up in that same area where we don't see on the radar. But this may be because the radar is at its limit. So there could be actually a cell here, or some of this storm is so that, it could be a. We definitely need more radar coverage in British Columbia, Canada in general. I mean, look at there's areas of just total gap still in our radar coverage, and I don't think that can be acceptable anymore in the kind of climate change we have. I think we got to have something going on for some of these dark spots. Bam. Of course, Prince George is getting theirs rebooted. Some of these may be getting some installed, but wide sections of the country were pretty inhabited, and we only got one up in the piece, right? But it's like there's bubbles of radar coverage, and oops. And so it's lost a little bit of its structure, but it's definitely still got some deep energy, and that's gonna flash for hours. That storm. We're not seeing as many ground strikes kicking out that way, but we're seeing a lot more kicking out west now. So there may be a change happening in the story, but that doesn't mean that these aren't flashing lots. And I'm sure if you're looking at your weather network apps or something like that, you're going to see a lot of lightning in places that you're not seeing on this. So that's more or less our stories overnight. Lots of thunderstorm potential. I'm not going to sit here and talk all night. Definitely the lightning's been calming down. So that gives me maybe a good reason to uh, almost say, folks, it's getting late. But if there's any more questions of any kind, thanks for hanging out with me while I sit around and eat spaghetti and watch lightning. Definitely lots of concerning lightning activity today. Yeah, I mean, we've been seeing it flash and lots through the interior and not a lot of rain in some of those places, right? So, and some very well developed storms as well. And those severe storm watches continue in some of those locations. At least they seem to for now. If you want to ever help me, please tell a friend about the channel. And don't hit this fucking thing that says dislike. Hit this one that says uh, no. It doesn't. It says unlike. If I hit it again, I so I hit it earlier to show you. So don't unlike it, like it, right? And then this guy here it says share, and wow, that just helps me out getting those algorithms. And you can always show your support for the Caribbean Weather Dude by buying me a coffee, so that tomorrow morning, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go get the fancy. I'm gonna get the motherfucking mocha this morning because I was calling storms all night. Someone bought me a coffee on my channel. So I love being your weather guy. Anyways, like I mean, I don't get a whole lot out of it, but it's sort of turned into a career. It is turning into one. So yeah, I just hope that I can, for years to come, be a weather guy that you can all turn to. And as we grow this channel and grow our Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers group on Facebook, that we can really um, take a journey together, I guess, right? So, before I go, let's have a look at a couple things here. So, this is Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers. 42 minutes ago, Jennifer Cosman. Sure would be great if it settled down. So, here's lightning strikes that have happened, or lightning that's been detected. So, these aren't ground strikes necessarily, but these are definitely flashers. Had over 500 in this region. How many hit the ground? Probably too many for most people's like. So we've had 700 800, 900. Well, that's plus. So, we've had some lightning activity tonight. So, thanks, Jennifer, for putting that graphic up. Oh, here's somebody I have to block from the group because he's just here to spam us. Oh, maybe I can't block him from the group. Maybe someone already has. Do everything I can. I'm so sick of this crap. Just spammers. Going over Princeton right now. Says Sandy Hayden Merriman. So here we have definitely that's outside Kamloops there. Spooky looking stuff. Oops. I don't want it in a picture-in-picture mode. I want to look at it. Ugh, everything has to be so weird. Why does everything have to be so weird? Okay. Where is it? Ah, it's weird. I just want to watch your video, dude. Okay. So this is what they're seeing in Kamloops not long ago. Holy shnikes. Did you see that? Holy. That's ticked right off. It looks like a good rain core in there at least, so that's nice. Hopefully that lightning's getting some water on it. That's in the clouds. That's a nice video. Thank you for posting that. Yeah, Joe and Svetlikoff. And here's Cody who's been on our stream. You can see that storm from Princeton. And those are some maddest clouds from the overshooting top. Upper level winds carry the this way, and you get so you have sort of a mattis formations. Pretty ones. Thanks for that, Cody. East of Oliver, blew out of nowhere, lots of lightning, but not excessive. So that was earlier today. That's cool though. It's a 3D picture. It like fucks with you if you look at it. You don't even know. Sugarcane, 8:20 p.m. And then we have okay, so that's more or less what everyone's saying. Hey Shelly, went fishing, came back. I'm still on, right on. Yeah, well, I just had nothing else to do. I don't drink. I don't go to the bar. I don't have any friends, and you know, I'm awkward, and my vehicle's broke down. I can barely leave home right now, and here I am, just still talking, hoping that it does something good. Let's have a last look before we go. So here are Storm by Salmon Arm, north of Salmon Arm. Chase, it's hitting Chase now. It's squeezing off, dying out. Still keeps some of that structure. Next storm near Princeton. Looks like it was stalling out for a bit, but I'd say this radar return has got it beefed up a little again. So maybe as it crossed from over to this series of highlands, it may have found some convective juice. Once it's crossed over that lowland, we got a couple lightning strikes that have happened there. Just south of Mississauga Lake. So there's areas that I've seen lightning a number of times come through today, too, right? This isn't just a storm that's one off. This is like second, third time that some of these areas in its path have seen action today. And it still maintains a pretty good structure. It still has some purples in there, so possibly still might have hail or some, excessive wind gusts, and there's that's purple is a sign of aggression. And you look down here at scale, and well, the scale only goes so far. You start seeing purple, and yeah, and there's our convective available potential energy starting to build in Alberta. They are probably going to see some action tomorrow, I think. Some possibly severe action tomorrow. And you know what it means when it gets severe in Alberta? It means you get underground sometimes, right? Last look, rain and thunder. Strong storm in Saskatchewan right now. I don't know why our map isn't showing BC anything, because I know there's there's a gap right now in the map for some reason. I don't know why. I know from past map looking that it said there was something here, and now we're totally looking at the wrong time. Okay, weird. So here's our direction of our storms overnight. Into the Caribou. 6 a.m., 7 a.m. So some slight changes in the modeling of where we can expect things to be. And then that's when to really look forward to it. Tyler's tomorrow for you in the morning and into the afternoon. Tomorrow's really the day. So some changes in what's, nothing's, no significant change really, but some changes in the forecast. Still, look at our rain accumulation expected for the next 3 days. Uh, just nothing, right? So one last look where these storms are going tonight. They're going crazy. Yeah, and then Kootenay's not much rain looking in that. Lots of lightning. And then here in Wells up to Prince George into the evening. And then out Vanderhoof Way to Fort Fraser. So some concerning situation for Thursday. And I think Thursday is going to be a day where we have lots to talk about. And that's maybe why I will cut it off now and say thank you very much. Thank you, Shelley. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe. Watch out for these guys if you see them out there. Oh, here's some fresh lightning out west of Williams Lake again. Watch out. There's a couple pretty angry storms, and that's just a foreshadow of things to come tomorrow. I think Thursday and Saturday they're really the days. So uh, look forward to more action. Yeah, please support the channel any way you can. And hey, you're all really great, and so am I.